Hello, I'm Morton Marcus. Welcome to a special edition of CinemaScene, our annual Oscars and Best Film show. Hello, I'm Morton Marcus, film critic and former film instructor at Cabrillo College.
I'm Richard von Busack, film critic for Metro Newspapers.
And we're going to have a nice, as usual, spontaneous show this time, but we're going to try to get in our 10 best films and the Oscar nominations and the shock that we have had on some of these nominations.
Award seasons is, you have to mix the bitter with the sour. It's like, I think that ideally, I once denounced the Oscars as being like an utter waste of time, and a fellow film critic pointed out that this is the time where like some underlooked, underpromoted films get their day in the sun. People hear about them, they see the little Oscar silhouette next to them, and it gives them a chance. It's not all about just the shenanigans, the robes, and so forth, but the gowns rather. But well, this year around, let's go with your top 10. Let's start up with that.
Okay. And please jump in because some of these are yours
some of them are
also.
crossovers. Yeah,
the great forgotten film is The Fall.
Yeah, which didn't show up on the Oscar list. I don't know why. Maybe because it was like some kind of jurisdictional problem about what year it had been released in and so forth.
Well, I also think that it really got hit by a lot of critics who.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't respond to it, which I thought was a pity. Tarsem Singh's gloriously photographed fantasy. Was everything Inkheart wasn't. The idea of like stories coming to life.
Stories coming to life.
Of in this case, in a hospital, in Los Angeles at the dawn of the cinema.
As this stuntman with a broken back.
Exactly. Just
tells a little girl this story. But what I loved about it so much was not only the glorious story and how it opened up, but how it became the girl's story, and that he's using her. There's a real dark side to this film.
There was all these reversals in it. The narrator was very untrustworthy. A beautiful film, and it got overlooked. But that's just the way of the world, I guess. But it's on both of our top 10 lists.
Right. Here's one though that hasn't gotten overlooked, and that's
WALL-E.
Yes.
WALL-E. We're both in agreement on that one as being one of the best of the year. That's up for the Oscars for best animated film against two films I think it'll beat handily. But the other aspect of WALL-E, I'm surprised it didn't go for Best Picture. It did get in for Best Script, no surprise there. Tell me about what you think about WALL-E. Why did you love it so much?
Well, it's divided into two sections, and I thought that the first section, looking at a ruined Earth, was beautifully rendered and beautifully done and very thought-provoking. Then it takes off to this off-Earth resort, and we see what's happened to human beings because of technology.
Yes.
And it is scathing. It is
it's a Jeremiad,
Yeah. It is Jeremiad, and it's also a Gulliver's Travel. It's Dean Swift to a T.
I agree with you.
And it's going to walk away with the Academy Awards.
For best
Pixar is doing work and has done work from the beginning that really is amazing. In fact, what I would think is, let's see if we can go to a clip right now of WALL-E and show the people out there, if they haven't seen it, what it looks like.
Wow.
Well, just to go through the names of some of my favorite films, so that people out there can go get them on their video.
Sure.
A small film called Frozen River about upstate New York, a film about Mongolia, which is Tuya's Wedding. I've Loved You So Long. We'll talk about that later. A wonderful film from France. And then
Happy Go Lucky, which is on both of our lists.
Right.
Yeah.
And is going to get a script award, I think.
I hope so, yeah.
At the Oscars. Just brilliantly done. Milk
It was also on my top 10.
And one of the big films, certainly as far as Sean Penn is concerned.
Yeah, Penn just took the SAG Award for Best Actor, and that's a real bellwether. We can kind of presume that he's on this fast track for that, for winning for Best Actor. But great film, and exactly what you wouldn't expect. It's not a hagiography, and a fascinating film about how politics is done. As a backdrop to the story of this one rather meek little guy that just ended up being kind of the mayor of this one district in San Francisco. Yeah. Finally, The Dark Knight. We're on both of our lists. Why
Go on.
For me, this really summed up the terror of the last year. When I thought things started to get very, very frightening in the political sphere. And the way that people brooded over the use of force began to frighten me in the editorial pages. There was a sort of an ambient sense of terror, and then this childhood figure Batman kind of returning in the middle of it became fascinating to me. I think that it worked as an action film, as a story of heroism and of the ambiguity of the idea of the Avenger in American cinema, plus marvelous anti-heroism, or you'd almost call it, from the villainy of the Joker in this story.
Right.
Yeah, it just fascinated me. I went back.
It really is the dark
side
side of the Dark Knight, and it's very interesting for that reason also.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Then my favorite documentary, The Trouble of Water, which was shot by the people living in the Ninth Ward, most of it, and
about
should
New Orleans.
not be missed.
Yeah, an excellent one.
And then Up the Yangtze
on
show.
My top 10
what
also.
has happened to the Yangtze with the rising.
Right, the Three Gorges Dam.
A
a frightening film about modern China and about the modern what the next century is going to look like, I think.
So what was some of your other
well, we had crossovers, like I said, The Dark Knight, Wall-E. Revolutionary Road is not on your list. You're not so big on it.
I wasn't so big on it.
A lot of people aren't, but I thought really immaculately composed and wonderful dramatic acting by Kate Winslet in the lead role. I don't understand why they went for the Reader instead, but that's just the way of the world. Up the Yangtze on my list also. My Winnipeg didn't make your top 10. I know we were both
I think it was a
wonderful.
wonderful film, but for some reason it just didn't make the top 10.
Guy Madden's hilarious kind of crypto documentary about growing up. A great film in itself, and a real rebuke to Schenectady, New York, I thought also.
Oh, that's a good idea, yes.
So, like The Fall, Happy Go Lucky. A Christmas Tale is a French film I went for instead.
Which is one I really didn't like.
I know, just like the ambient nastiness and but density, and it really reminded me. I thought this guy could go on to do a Balzac novel. Around the Bay is one that's on my list that isn't on yours, and that's we had Alejandro Adams from San Jose here from it. One that really stuck with me is like the indie film to really watch.
Oh, that's great.
Adams is going places. So
that's great. Good. Well, when we come back, we're going to really take a look at the Oscar nominations and give our opinions on them. We're going to discuss the Academy Award nominations and maybe give some attitudes on it also. We have 7 categories we're going to go into, and we're going to start right now. So let's start with the Best Supporting Actor.
Now, I've often maintained that the supporting categories are the most interesting races, and I think it's because whereas in the actors and actresses you've got like this apples and oranges, you might have like tangerine, mangosteen, kumquat, more of a range of different types. In other words, in the supporting category, a lot of physical types and of acting styles than you do in the lead actors. I mean, the way a lead actor or actress role is conceived of in an American movie, the kinds that make it to the top, is rather limited compared to the crazy ways that a supporting actor or actress can go on.
Let's get into it, because we don't have the time that we're about to.
Okay, but Best Supporting Actor is I'm just saying that's because Best Supporting Actor is for me the most interesting race in this.
Okay,
in the Oscars.
Philip Seymour Hoffman for Doubt, Josh Brolin for
Milk, Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder,
and Michael Shannon for Revolutionary Roads, and last but certainly not least, Heath Ledger
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's a perfect example of what I'm getting at. I mean, this is like a range of different styles that you don't find in any of the other races. This is very exciting. Usually it's Best Supporting Actress that's most interesting. But, okay, so we have Heath Ledger as the Joker, the sentimental choice because he perished last year. And it was the greatest thing. How is that a supporting actor performance? What, I mean, he was on the posters, so,
Right.
But I think he is pretty much the shoe-in because they will vote for that. I know they voted for Peter Finch after he was dead in Network and so forth. But you're up against Robert Downey Jr.'s immaculately humorous and actually even more than that, the dangerous performance in Tropic Thunder. Do you remember how good he was?
No, I didn't particularly appreciate him at all.
Okay.
So to me, this whole category, I mean, Michael Shannon, people talk about.
It was a hilarious parody of the kind of roles, the Vietnam movie. And I thought Downey, it was a risky performance, and I thought really rich. Okay, what about Brolin in Milk? Josh Brolin was great. No,
nothing.
No, it's down. That didn't send you either.
I mean, he was
That's why
very
you're trying
good,
to rush me off here.
I just anyway. Go on.
Philip Seymour Hoffman in Doubt, quite good.
Very good.
But melodramatic. I mean, it's the sort of thing he could have done in his sleep. Michael Shannon in Revolutionary Road, the person that catalyzed that film, also quite good. Just these were like really 5 terrific. Well, let's move on though. Okay.
Yeah,
to Best Actor,
Best
Mickey
Actor.
Rourke. We got Mickey Rourke as the wrestler, Sean Penn in Milk, Frank Langella and Frost Nixon. The Dark Horse, Richard Jenkins from The Visitor. You remember we saw that film and dismissed the same like early in the season and Brad Pitt in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Now, of those 5 performances of Pitt, Rourke, Penn, Langella, and Jenkins, which is the one that really sent you the most?
Well, I think there are 3 there. I thought Jenkins was excellent, but I think there are 3 there,
he's a
and
good
it
actor.
really is going to narrow down to 2. And the third one, of course, is Langella, and I know you don't think he was that good.
He's not going to go all the way, Morton.
But the real race is going to be between
Sean Penn and between Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
2 different kinds of acting styles, but 2 very parallel sorts of stories.
Yeah.
Between 2 guys that were under arrest, defying the rule of John Waters that you look good when you're under arrest. This was 2 cases where these guys did not.
And the big thing here is going to be, is Rourke going to be a sentimental choice because it's the return?
Yeah.
It's the comeback kid. Or do people really dislike him so much that they are really going to keep him from the award? But then it's also a real contest because Sean Penn was fantastic as Milk.
He was. It was really one of the best performances ever, and it is a
what do you
species of a
think's gonna
comeback.
happen?
Well, I think the SAG Awards blew it. I think that's blew the surprise. I think it's going to be Penn. I think he's going to. I think there's enough people that heard the hype about The Wrestler and then went and saw it and went, well, this is good, but this is not a masterpiece.
Right.
Which is it's like so. I think it's going to be Penn.
How about
if it was up to me, I'd probably
actress?
give it to Rourke because it was more flamboyant. But supporting actress, okay, usually the most interesting category this year, less so. Marisa Tomei in The Wrestler
Was terrific.
Terrific. Amy Adams in Doubt. Why?
Was terrific. I thought
Cute.
she
She was pretty good. She's pretty
June Bug, and she turns around and does something like this with a lot of meaning between the lines, a lot of nuances, I thought.
It was great supporting acting. It was classic supporting acting. It kept Meryl Streep going all the way through there in the final scenes. It gave her something to bounce off of. Viola Davis is
Who is that?
In Doubt.
One of the sensational acting jobs for one scene.
Yeah, an Aria-like performance. I mean, like also classic supporting actress coming in, bringing her out, catalyzing the film, returning to the wings.
Okay.
Taraji P. Henson. Do you remember her from?
She was okay.
Hustle and Flow. She's in. She's like the foster mom of Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
Not so good,
Not so good at all.
Penelope Cruz.
Doing her thing, but I don't think that she's going to get it either.
I see 5 workman jobs of acting here, and none that really stands out like crazily. I think Tomei has worked hard, and it's great to have her, having been dogged the rumors that a senile Jack Palance gave her the Oscar by accident. I thought she really made The Wrestler hold together. So
I would
I'm
not
with
be
Tomei.
surprised if Viola Davis gets it.
There's been a lot of
There's a lot of feeling about her because she was in the show, and as well as in the movie, and I just feel and hear a lot of backing. She gets a lot of applause when she's named. And
you
this
may be
gets
right.
us,
You may be right. It may indeed be Viola Davis. Yeah.
Then this gets us to Best Actress, which is another real big one. I think.
Yeah, Kate Winslet for the for the
reader.
For the reader, yes, exactly. Meryl Streep for Doubt, Anne Hathaway for Rachel Getting Married,
right.
And your favorite Melissa Leo from Frozen River,
right.
And Angelina Jolie for Changeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think, some of those we can throw out. Why don't you throw them out?
I like to throw out Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I don't understand why that's there. I thought it was ham.
Yeah.
It was really old style ham, cut slice close to the bone. She got to bay for her child, like do the I want my son. It was bad. It was. I don't understand why. Yeah. Maybe it's because she's her humanitarian works. I don't know. Yeah. Melissa Leo, kind of the Richard Jenkins choice, only here.
Dark Horse, very small independent film.
A great actress. I mean, and she's been great. She was great in 3 Lives of Melquiades Estrada. The Tommy Lee Jones film. She's been good for a long time.
And you see, she therefore, just like Jenkins, who's done so much work.
Yeah.
But
not going to win. And Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway. I think it's Streep's year, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that it's definitely going. I think it's not Streep's year, but Winslet's year.
You think Winslet's? Yeah.
From right now, you can't tell because Streep has just taken the SAG Awards.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be Streep's year. It's going to turn out they're going to think Kate Winslet can wait a little while, that she's got like some more years in her, and I agree.
We're going to take a break now. When we come back, we are going to give the Best Director and Best Picture awards. Rich, we can't leave Best Actress award.
Right.
We can't leave any nominations to the Academy Awards because hardly anyone agrees with them all the time.
Yeah.
And with the Best Actress, 2 great performances
were
left out.
Yeah, Kristen Scott Thomas in I've Loved You So Long, and Sally Hawkins in Happy Go Lucky.
Happy Go Lucky, wonderful acting jobs.
Yeah, so they put in,
It was, in fact, a very strong year for women actors. Very, very strong year.
So that's good.
Think of those films out there as we move now to Best Director.
Okay, now we got the list here. The roster is Slumdog Millionaire
by Danny Boyle.
Ron Howard's Frost Nixon, Gus Van Sant's Milk, Stephen Daltrey, The Reader, and David Fincher doing The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Now, which of these things does not belong on this list? Or which of these things is not going to win, actually? Let's start with it. I don't think Frost Nixon's going to make it all the way.
Okay.
I think that's like the popular choice. I think, you always have to consider what James Rocky called the Borgnine rule. You look over a list and you think, who would the older members of the Academy vote for? The people that, in Ernest Borgnine's age range. And that's what Frost Nixon's doing up there. Ron Howard does it. It's safe. It makes them recall the old days when Nixon was, roaming the earth loose.
But, Gus Van Sant falls into that also, but it's such a wonderful job, such a riveting job. It's really a biopic.
It's a lot more about the subtleties of politics than Frost Nixon is. And that's one reason I would have thought that would have, under ordinary circumstances, if there hadn't been a film that now has the narrative around it that it's the little movie that could, and that's Slumdog Millionaire. What about Daltrey's The Reader? Do you think that has much of a chance? Would you bet much money on that?
It's gaining power, especially from the fact that Kate Winslet really is getting nominated for that performance, rather than her other performance.
Then for Revolutionary Road, which I thought was eminently more watchable and exciting.
Well,
I know, but I'm in the minority in that one.
I'm having very curious thoughts about The Reader. Again, I just can't get out of my mind. There's Fincher's The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which people say is the most exciting film to come out in over a decade.
But for some reason, the people that say this aren't buying tickets. It's not making back. I mean, it cost the moon and the stars in the sky, and at the same time, it's not making back its investment. I mean, that's just like in the trade papers. I don't know if Fincher would, it's possible that Fincher would win for this list, but I think that, again, it's going to be Slumdog Millionaire because it's just proven to be such a popular favorite. For me, this is not so much the little movie that could as the little movie that just won't go away. I mean, I'm not a fan.
The little movie that won't go away, and there's a very good chance that it is going to win Best Picture. And since we probably are not going to say
people stopped me and talked about how great it is, and it's, I'm still kind of baffled by it. I think that narratively it's got more holes than Albert Hall.
Let's take a look at a Slumdog Millionaire.
Good idea.
Yeah.
In Alexander Dumas' book, The Three Musketeers, 2 of the musketeers are called Athos and Porthos. what was the name of the third musketeer?
I'd like to phone a friend.
Here we go. You are on your own, Jamal.
Hello? Hello, Jamal?
I'm guessing that isn't your brother. This is?
My name is Latika.
Okay, Latika.
Okay.
So we finally now get to Best Picture, and
Right.
a lot of the directors who we were just talking about are involved in Best Picture. One of them, Danny Boyle, who's just done the film that we saw, which is Slumdog Millionaire,
Right.
finds that is gathering momentum as time goes on
Right.
as the best film of the year.
Right.
One of my objections to it is that I think it's really two films.
Yeah.
A very serious, realistic film about the class system in India,
Right.
suddenly wedded to a romantic, dewy-eyed melodrama that is all Bollywood.
A lot of sins are committed in the name of Charles Dickens,
Yes,
and
exactly.
and so what we do have besides but actually on this list though for Best Picture is Milk,
Right.
Frost Nixon,
Right.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Reader, and in addition to Slumdog Millionaire. Now it's possible a wellspring of support will come over Slumdog Millionaire. Let us not forget that even though there's people that came out of Curious Case of Benjamin Button feeling as if their hair had gone snow white overnight from the absolute length of the movie, despite that fact, it did give a lot of people a lot of work, and this is never to be underestimated when doing your Oscar handicapping. Yeah. This employed the Curious Case of Benjamin Button employed more people than the Aswan Dam, and I personally I don't know. I think that's something that has to be considered when handicapping.
Well, I've talked, after my discussion on Saturday, a guy I respect a lot
Right.
came up and talked to me. We almost had a violent argument on the film.
Oh, good.
He just thought it was one of the most stunning films he had seen.
Really?
In years and years and years. And I just stood there unmoved. And
Good.
got angrier and angrier.
That's right.
You know, I think it is a vapid, empty film.
Death warmed over. And okay. Well, Frost. Okay, so there's a possibility though. That's like let's bring you up the rear. I mean, I think I would if I had money to put on it, I'd put money that it was going to win, even on a list of 5 films that, except for one of them, I didn't really consider any of the best of the year, and that one is Milk. Aesthetically, I'd vote for Milk. Milk would be my choice for the best of this list. I suspect it would be Milk or Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
And I agree, but I think
feel like a quintella
we'll
ticket
see.
on that. But
I know that our producer feels that only an American film will win the Academy Award, which puts Slumdog Millionaire out. But this is telling the wide world out there that his choice,
despite
it's up for inspection here.
The days when a Holocaust film could win because it was a Holocaust film are over. And so I'm going to say The Reader and Frost Nixon is also with Frost Nixon the two that probably won't make it all the way.
I think Milk is really the inside
film. So you think
here.
Milk? Okay.
And that, of course, then is our Best Picture. But also, one more word, the Best Animated Film. There are 3 of them that have been nominated.
Yes.
Kung Fu Panda, Bolt, and WALL-E. And I think WALL-E is going to run away with it.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. Kung Fu Panda, not bad. Ian McShane doing some great vocal work as he does on the upcoming Coraline, which is one of my best of the year.
I'm getting the windmill signal, my friend.
Right. So,
this has been a special CinemaScene. I'm Mort Marcus.
Richard von Busack here.
And we'll see you next time.